Major step forward today for a slate of gun control proposals in Washington, including a ban on semi-automatic
Yeah,
guns.
Washington would now join a number of states that have already passed or are considering to pass so-called assault weapons bans. Our Brandon Thompson in studio with us, going beyond the headlines. Oh, tell us about these proposed laws.
So some of them will sound familiar to Oregonians. It's the headlines of mass shootings that are driving the introduction of this legislation. Democratic supporters spoke to the mass shootings in California in supporting these bills, but Republicans say the tool that is used in those tragedies should not be to blame, just the person who uses it. The debate over gun control heating up in Olympia.
I believe this is something that is imperative to the safety of our communities.
Constitutional rights are unique, whether we like that firearms are protected in the Constitution or not.
4 bills total. 2 were debated today in committee. The first, 1143, would create a 10-day waiting period for firearm sales or transfers, allowing for a background check to come back before a person could take ownership of a gun. It would also create a permit to purchase program that includes a live demonstration of using a firearm, like what Oregon voters passed last fall. That law is facing legal challenges over a Supreme Court case cited by conservatives in Washington today.
We know of no other constitutional right that an individual may exercise only after demonstrating to government officers some special need. It's not how the First Amendment works.
This is sensible to make sure that that people are prepared for the extraordinary responsibility of owning and handling a firearm, that they can do so safely.
The other is House Bill 1240, which would ban the sale and manufacture of new semi-automatic weapons, or what the bill calls assault weapons. It would not apply to people who already own the weapons, but that does not change Representative Jim Walsh's perspective on its constitutionality.
We need to do more to prevent violence in our society. But restricting certain types of firearms, restricting the tool that violent minds use to make mayhem, isn't the right solution.
We have seen the continued incredible tragic acts of violence, while this bill will not, of gun violence, and while this bill will not cure that scourge that is happening across this country, it is part of the solution.
The other piece of legislation lawmakers are considering, but was tabled today, would allow local governments to pass their own gun laws as long as they would be more restrictive than the state's laws.
And as you have said in the past, Brandon, even if these laws are passed, they'll probably be tied up in the courts like we're seeing here in Oregon.
And that was discussed in the committee today, that those legal challenges are likely because of that case out of New York City from last summer.
All right, Brandon, as always, thank you.